Hey guys, it's Lucky Ghost here. Today we're going to be going over a Stamina Necromancer PvP build, and it's the one I'm using in Midyear Mayhem right now, and I'm having fantastic success with it. I've actually really enjoyed this. It's been doing so well, my chat's been asking me to put the build up, so here you guys go. I'm sharing it with you right now. But let's start with the front bar. We've got Blighted Blast Bones, Dizzying Swing, Executioner, Camouflage Hunter, Rally, and Onslaught. Now, Blinded Blast Bones is fantastic because it's a delayed bomb, which allows us to put out some insane burst damage using it. We can use the Blast Bones, and while it's waiting to explode, we pop our Onslaught, go into a Dizzying Swing, knock the opponent down, and start wailing on them with some Executioners. It's usually enough to finish them off. If it's not, you can adjust this rotation accordingly to continue unleashing damage on them. Executioner, obviously we're going to use this when they get into execute. And Camouflage Hunter, it's a nice ability because not only can you use it to pop enemies out of invis, it's also going to grant you Major Savagery. It's also going to give you Minor Berserk. It's a nice bar buffer, and on top of that, it's a Fighter's Guild ability, so it's another 3% increased damage for the entire bar. This ability, you hardly ever use it, if at all, and it does a substantial amount for your damage output. Rally, this ability should be up 100% of the time. It's going to give you Major Brutality, increasing your weapon damage by 20%, and Minor Endurance, increasing your stamina recovery by 10% for 20 seconds. Not only that, but it's going to give you a nice heal over time that punches at the end with a nice thick heal, and the longer it ticks, the bigger the heal at the end. You can proc it again early to force that heal to go off, but the closer you proc it again to when you procced it initially, the less of a heal you get. Alright, now to the back bar. Front bar is where we're at when we're on the offense. Back bar is where we're at whenever we're trying to survive. We're on our heal, the enemy's pushing on us, go to the back bar, we're outnumbered, maybe we're low on resources, maybe we're low on HP. We swap over to the back bar, and we start this factory that we've got back here. On our back bar, we've got some amazing abilities for surviving. We've got Hexproof, which is going to drop 4 dots or negative effects from us at whim. We just hit this ability, it costs health, 1900 health, which is not very significant, and we're going to talk about why here in a second. It also reduced the cost of all abilities by 3% while it's slotted. Fantastic cost reduction while we're trying to survive. I love it. Next, we've got Mortal Coil. This is going to give us a little over 1000 HP per second and a little under 100 stamina per second. And while slotted, it's going to increase our healing done by 3%. Just a fantastic ability all around for trying to get back on our feet in battle and to survive an onslaught. Next up, Resolving Vigor. This is going to be another really powerful heal over time ability, giving us 14,800 health over 4 seconds. In other words, it's giving us just under 4,000 HP per second. Next, Conjure a Ghostly Spirit to do your bidding. All right, 16 seconds, and it's healing us for just under 1,000 HP per second. While active, it's reducing the amount of damage we take by 10%. It's just a flat 10% damage mitigation. Not only that, we've got some really amazing passives in here. Your Spirit Guardian active, it's going to give you another Magicka and stamina recovery of 200. So if you're keeping track, these 3 abilities alone right here are giving you just about 6,000 HP per second. Next, we've got Beckoning Armor. This ability is a lot of fun. It's fantastic for your survival. You feel this when this ability's up. It reduces the damage that you're taking so much because it's giving you Major Resolve, increasing your physical resistance and spell resistance by 5,280 for 20 seconds at a time. While active, enemies that strike you with ranged attacks will be pulled towards you once every 3 seconds. This ability catches so many ranged attackers off guard. They go to plink at you, and all of a sudden, they're standing nose to nose with you, and you start wailing on them. This Beckoning Armor, this Spirit Guardian, and this Blast Bones are all going to be creating corpses for you all the time. Not only that, but your enemies and your allies that die are also going to leave corpses, which means your Mortal Coil should be up 100% of the time while you're in battle. There's no reason for it not to be ticking. If it's not running, you probably just haven't popped over to cast it. Last, we've got our ultimate. I really feel like the ultimate on this build is very flexible. I'm putting Ravenous Goliath here for you guys because when you're back here, you know, and you're just trying to survive, that 30,000 extra HP for 20 seconds could come in very handy. Not only that, but your light attacks are going to restore 526 health, and you've got an aura that's doing damage and healing you as well. It's just excellent for trying to survive, which is what we come back here to do. Not only that, there's some passives. Because this ability is slotted, you take another 2% healing and 2% more healing from this. So that's 4% from this, plus 3% from this. That's nice. It all starts to add up to something substantial. Basically, as you approach every battle, what you're going to start off by doing is you're going to pre-buff. So you're going to cast your Spirit Guardian, Beckoning Armor, and your Rally. And then everything after that is going to be battle oriented. I'm usually going to go into a Blast Bones cast while I close the gap on the enemy. And depending on how much health they have, we're going to go into some combination of offensive abilities. If I start getting low on health or resources, I'm going to switch back to the back bar and start this factory right here where I block. And while I'm holding block, I'm going to drop the dots off of myself, pump out my HOTS, keep up my Major Resolve with my arm. Remember that every time you block an attack, it procs ult regeneration. So while you're turtling back here, your ult is going to be going up, which means that eventually you'll be able to pop onto the front bar, slam them with Blast Bones into an onslaught, into a dizzying swing, knock them down, execute them. It's a fun combination, and when it goes right, it feels so good. All right, now let's talk about our gear. So next up, let's talk about gear. First, we've got Balorghs. For the monster set, it's going to give us weapon damage, and when we use our ultimate ability, we gain weapon and spell damage equal to the amount of the total ultimate consumed, and physical and spell penetration equal to 23 times the amount for 12 seconds. So basically, this is giving you very nice weapon damage and penetration every time you use your ultimate. It's a fantastic set, and it's felt really good combined with my onslaught when I'm letting out my burst damage. The monster set, I feel, is a bit flexible. You could go with this or whatever your preferred monster set is. This one seems to work really well with the gear that I'll be wearing because it's very offensive. So I don't really feel like I've needed a defensive monster set with this build. Typically, you're going to want this probably to be Impen minus Divines, which works out all right. It's just enhancing my Warrior Mundus. It's not the worst thing in the world. That strengthens my heals and increases my damage output. And since we're not so dependent on Impen like we used to be, it's actually working out just fine. Next up, we've got New Moon Acolyte. We're going to wear 5 pieces of New Moon, medium, with Impen. This is going to give us a fantastic amount of crit, weapon damage, physical penetration, and last but not least, more weapon damage. The 5% increased cost of active abilities is something that I really don't notice in PvE or PvP. Next up, we've got Eternal Vigor. I had my doubts about this set. It just looked so defensive. I was concerned I was going to be able to push out enough damage while wearing something that looked and felt like it was simply putting me there to survive. But man, this set feels so good. We get 124 magic recovery, 124 stamina recovery, 124 health recovery, max health, and then it adds 325 stamina and magicka recovery while your health is above 50%, aka while you're on offense, and then it adds almost 1,000 health recovery while your health is at 50% or less. So we were talking about earlier, we already had 6,000 health coming in. This makes it 7,000 health plus, you know, the 124, plus, you know, our base health recovery. I mean, our health recovery when we get below 50% is insane. I'll show you some footage of me surviving situations I feel like I probably shouldn't have and wouldn't have on some other builds, and it just makes this build a lot of fun. As for the enchantments, I'm gonna go with weapon damage on all three. I've got healthy because I haven't transmuted it yet. I'm waiting to see if the golden vendor tomorrow ends up selling some gold eternal vigor, because if he does, I might just pick that up and transmute that rather than upgrade this myself. So I'm holding off on retrading these, but I did put the weapon damage enchantments on it, and I will likely change them to infused. For my front bar weapon, I'm going to be using a maul for the penetration with a weapon damage enchantment infused for the increased damage. On my back bar, we've got sword and board. We got a mace. Doesn't really matter what it is as long as it's eternal vigor one hand. And I think I'm gonna go with powered, but it's not very important. Max stamina, reinforced, max stamina, impen are gonna be perfect for the back bar. And that's it for the gear. For the attributes, I've got 18 and 46. This is working out really well for me. Combined with my Artaeum takeaway broth, I'm sitting here at 25,000 health. I can definitely take some out, but I've really enjoyed the tanky playstyle this offers. I haven't felt like I needed more damage. If anything, my damage output has been great. So when I get the infused on my jewelry, my health is going to go down a bit. My damage is going to go up a bit, and we'll see how that feels. For food, I'm using Artaeum takeaway broth. This increases our max health by 2,800, our health recovery by 346, max stamina by 2,600, and stamina recovery by 288. As far as potions go, you can use stamina, essence of stamina potions. You don't need to use something like essence of weapon power, because essence of weapon power gets you brutality, which you're already getting from Rally. It gives you major savagery, which you're already getting from Camo Hunter, and then it restores stamina, which you're already getting from your essence of stamina potions. So your base stamina potions are more than fine. Such overkill. Thought I was gonna get both of them. Whoa. What the hell is this? All right, we're getting them, boys and girls. We're getting them. Oh, it's upstairs. Upstairs. It's a sniper. A gap closer would be handy, but you know, the constant extra damage all the time. Get him! As I fell. Something satisfying about overhanding someone while you're falling, you know? Dude, my team is solid this round. Team is solid. Going.